También quiero agradecer a nuestras moderadoras del día de hoy, de nuestra sesión del café del día de hoy, de la hora del café, que son Angie Garibay de México y Ellen Cashman de Canadá. Sin más preámbulos, las dejo pues en la palabra de nuestras moderadoras para seguir adelante con nuestra sesión de la hora del café. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining us here today, and especially a huge thank you to all of the candidates who are here today. The way that this session is going to work is each of the candidates is going to have about 5 minutes to introduce themselves, why they want to be on the World Board, and kind of provide that introduction. As they're talking, if you can send any messages that you have or thoughts in the chat, then we'll take a couple of those questions and address those after. But first, our candidates will begin by introducing themselves, and as they're chatting, please, note those down so that you don't forget your questions. So I'd like to start off by introducing Amal, and she is with the Boy Scouts and Girl Guides of Libya. So I'll give the floor over to you. Oh, Amal, I think you might be on mute.
Okay now? My voice is okay? Do you listen to me? Yes, it's okay. My name is Amal Benissa. I'm from Libya. I belong to Boy Scout and Girl Guide of Movement. And I am joined Girl Scout since when I have 7 years old, and then grow up in guiding and become a leader. Then after that, a member of Arab committee in the Arab region, and then after that, become as an honorary associated member in WIGS. I have many achievements that I am very happy with it, such as that I am one of the guides who established a branch of Ranger in our organization and changed the constitution to take the Girl Guide their position beside the Boy Scouts, And also I am establishing a group of mixed with the normal Girl Scout and Girl Guide with blinded girls. This is a experiment. I'm very happy with it because those Girl Guide now become a women in their community, and they have a high positions. I'm very glad with them. For me, as to be a member of World Board, that to achieve all my mission based on the needs of all Girl Guides everywhere and anywhere, because we are like sisters, and we know all the girls what they willing to be to build their future, to build their community, to change, to make a changes everywhere in any environment that they are. That's why I will be a part of WAGS to achieve these goals, which all the Girl Guides are and young women looking for. Thank you. And also, I'm a civil engineer. I have my own firm. I'm a designer of building and infrastructure. I'm still have ability to work hard and hard. And now I'm a member of the one of the member who now established a club for engineering. I'm looking forward to be this club that have the basis of the wives to take care of the families, for young people, for young girls, to take their rights, to force them to take their position anywhere. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amal. Next up, we have Fiona, who is representing Girl Guiding of New Zealand. So I will pass the floor over to you, Fiona.
Hello, hola, and kia ora, which is how we say hello in New Zealand. So kia ora, everyone. My name is Fiona Bradley. I've been a member of Girl Guiding New Zealand since I was 5 years old, and currently I'm a leader of our Rangers section, which is girls aged 12 to 17 years old. And I'm really passionate about seeing them take on leadership opportunities. And I love going into the outdoors with them, going camping, cooking, and hiking. Last triennium, I started on the WAG's governance committee in 2018. And since December 2020, I've chaired the WAG's governance committee. So with this international team of volunteers, I have led the development of an induction framework. I have also led the recruitment process for new members to join the committee. Through both my work as a pharmacist and in my guiding roles, I have an appreciation of diversity, and I have worked with people from all around the world and from different cultures. So governance is a key area of interest for me, but I also want to share a further couple of interests with you. So I've been a national board member for Girl Guiding New Zealand, and during my time, I led the strategic advocacy focus for Girl Guiding New Zealand. I helped leaders of girls to understand what advocacy means and how they could go and do that with their girls. So I provided practical tools and resources to support them. And I delivered the initiatives for the Stop the Violence campaign, which New Zealand ran for 5 years. And I've also provided leader training on the Voices Against Violence program. And I have also supported leader training for the Free Being Me program. So these are some examples of WAG's global programs that I'm passionate about. So when I'm reflecting on my own journey, I've had a lot of opportunities to develop my governance skills. And I want to ensure that we have effective processes to support young women into decision-making and governance roles. I have started some of this work. I lead the governance capacity building team, and I have connected volunteers that are from the governance and girl-led advocacy teams to work with member organisations. And we're currently working with Panama and Guatemala from the Western Hemisphere on these types of projects for their organisation. And I'm really keen for us to look for ways to hear from young women and to ensure their active participation in all spaces. So I'll bring my governance experience, my collaboration and communication skills to the World Board team so that we can be successful in our work. Thank you. And I'm really looking forward to the conversation today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fiona, and great to meet you. Next up, we have Chamanthia with the Sri Lankan Girl Guides Association, and she's going to share a little bit about herself. So I'll pass it over to her.
Bonjour, Hora, marhaba, hello everyone. I'm Shamatya Fernando, joining in from Sri Lanka and a member of the Sri Lanka Girl Guides Association. To share a little bit about myself and how I've been involved within the Girl Guides movement. I started off as a little friend, like the Brown unit in Sri Lanka just at the age of 8 years, and have been connected with the Girl Guides movement in different capacities as a Girl Guide, and then as a youth member, and as a coordinator of one of the largest programs that was Stop the Violence campaign of Sri Lanka Girl Guides Association for the past 20 years. And I think during my journey, one of the key highlights for me was that the opportunity I received to be part of the World Board as the youngest member. And during that short term, from 2018 to 2020, I had the opportunity to be an equal partner of that journey. And fortunately, the infrastructure was such that I was able to meaningfully contribute. And one of the pieces I led, I mean, apart from all the other work that required for a World Board member, was the Motion 32 Young Women in Governance Research. And I think most of y'all might have seen me in different spaces, coming to y'all with all the content we wanted to share in terms of the research. I'm also a passionate advocate for gender equality and girls and women's rights. Not just necessarily, gender-based violence, but I also work on sexual and reproductive health, on climate justice, on economic justice, on the women, peace and security agenda, and different other cross-cutting thematic areas. Over the years, I had the opportunity to be a WAGS delegate at the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, and then started my journey, how I navigated and had the opportunity to work with global international organizations, governments, and civil society at the more local level. I think especially to speak about how I have been involved with the Western Hemisphere region, I think lately with generation equality, I had the opportunity to work extensively with countries like Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, United States, Canada, and also moving to Costa Rica, Brazil, Chile, and so many more. Because also I think it's such a diverse region we have with the Western Hemisphere, and also different constituencies that needs to be represented in most of these spaces. Especially I think you have a huge community of indigenous women who have come across so many different difficulties, and those issues need to be brought out as well. So for me, I'm also passionate about how we can look at girl guiding, girl scouting could move beyond just school-based, extracurricular activity, also to deliver and have more girls and young women be able to access these spaces, because Girl Guides and Girl Scouts have the non-formal education methodology, which really enables girls and young women to really thrive and be able to access these equal opportunities when they get into the real world. Therefore, one area that I'm really passionate about working is how do we ensure that we are able to bring and make our movement as inclusive, as diverse, and as representative as possible. But I'm also a professional in a corporate, and also in strategy and digitization for marketing. Therefore, I hope to bring my skills and experience in developing strategy and digitization model, because we are moving currently into a more digitized world. And I think every day we come across situations where our girls and young women are unable to access these spaces. But at the same time, the world is moving so fast and getting into a digital mode. So how do we bridge that digital divide? And some of my experiences being, WAGS representative in many of the United Nations or even global spaces is also about advocating and pushing that these organizations recognized WAGS as a movement that needs to be resourced enough, because our member organizations can deliver better projects, better programs, and be able to get into the girls if they are adequately resourced, because you need that funding, that resourcing to go into. So I hope to bring my skills and experience being in spaces where the private sector, where the philanthropies are discussing about how do we ensure girls and young women are able to access these resources directly. And I think WAGS is the best organization, and we need to place WAGS as the organization that they should be going into, and be able to get these resources into the local national level for our MUs to be able to deliver results. And I think as a World Board member, I would also looking at how do we ensure we are able to deliver the results that we are looking at, and how do we achieve our mission, and also keeping in mind the Compass 2032, which is an ambitious plan we have. But if we come together and if we work together on that and bring all our skill set, our knowledge, our experience into that decision-making space, I'm sure we can get into a more concrete results in the next few years. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And awesome to hear from you and about your experiences as well. Next up, we have Candela from the Association of Guides in Argentina.
Buenas tardes, buenos días, buenas noches a todas. Un placer verlas. ¿Se me escucha bien? Sí, pienso que sí. Bueno, debo admitir que cuando se terminen las tardes de café las voy a extrañar un poco porque ya se han hecho parte de nuestra rutina de los sábados, así que estoy muy contenta de estar acá. Bueno, mi nombre es Candela González. He sido guía durante 23 años de mi vida, tengo 30 años. Actualmente soy la vicepresidenta de la Asociación Guías Argentinas y soy aspirante a ser capacitadora nacional. Mi trabajo es en UNICEF, trabajo en el área de planeamiento de proyectos de cooperación internacional y planeamiento presupuestario, y hago ese seguimiento de esos proyectos en el terreno, lo cual me ha permitido combinar mi gran pasión por las guías con mi trabajo profesional en el ámbito laboral, así que estoy muy agradecida por eso. Desde el año 2018 integro el Comité de Gobernanza, con un grupo de excelentes voluntarias como Fiona, que está en esta conversación hoy. Mi aspiración para ser parte del Consejo Mundial es que yo presencié la capacidad transformadora que el guiismo tiene en nuestra vida, porque yo comencé y conocí el guiismo a los 8 años, cuando tenía serios problemas para integrarme en la escuela, y pasé unos momentos bastante duros, y bueno, que me llevaron a tener un poco de estrés a esa edad, y me olvidé cómo leer. Tuve que aprender a leer nuevamente a los 8 años y medio, 9, lo cual me llenó de presión y de frustración a esa edad, y ahí a mis papás se les ocurrió que era una buena idea llevarme a un grupo guía para hacer otra actividad por fuera de la escuela, y fue un antes y un después en mi vida. Mi aspiración es que muchas nenas como yo ese día, siempre recuerdo mi imagen de ese día entrando a mi comunidad guía, tímida, sin saber dónde me estaba metiendo, que muchas más chicas tengan la posibilidad de conocer el guiismo de esta manera, y que tengan aspiraciones de conformar consejos, de conformar equipos de trabajo, de representarnos a nivel global, y de realmente estar en los lugares que ellas aspiren y que ellas quieren. Y me parece que tenemos que ser un grupo de mujeres líderes con habilidades y con capacidades para poder llevar adelante las transformaciones que se van a votar en esta conferencia mundial, y estoy convencida de que tenemos habilidades y tenemos experiencia para hacerlo, así que quiero poner a disposición de la organización mi experiencia a nivel estratégico que he tenido a lo largo de los años, para conformar un consejo mundial sólido que esté a la altura de las circunstancias, de los desafíos que vienen ahora en estos tiempos que nos tocan vivir a todas.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Christiane from the Lebanese Federation of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts.
Thank you, Helen. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here to meet everyone and to see so many familiar faces. My name is Christiane. I'm from Lebanon. I'm the International Commissioner of the Lebanese Girl Guides Association. It's my 8th year. It's my 4th mandate, 8th year, and it's my last one. So it actually happened all on, I remember it was a Thursday and I received a call. It was 2019. A member from my board, from my national board, which I am a part of, she called me and she said, we want you as a candidate for Lebanon for the World Board elections. I remember that it took me a good maybe 30 seconds or a bit more to actually understand what she was telling me. And I had just like a flashback of all my guiding years in front of my eyes. And I had so many questions. And I still remember the feeling that I got. And why am I saying this now? Because this is actually what happens when you are given an opportunity from your MO, from WAGs, from the people you work with. So actually, it brought me back to when I became a girl guide, and I discovered all the potential that I had, all the capacities that I had, and that were hidden. And since then, when everybody asks me, so what do you do in guiding? I say I don't do girl guiding. I am a girl guide. It's part of my identity. It's part of who I am. Of course, it is part of what I do, but I feel that I used to say when I was in the guide branch as a commissioner, they would tell me, I mean, why do you like guiding so much? I would say that my blood is Guide Plus. So it's really become a part of who I am. So when I started this journey, I was a leader for, I was an assistant, a leader for the guiding branch, and then for what we call the walking youth, who are girls that are 17 plus, and that we train and prepare to become leaders. And then I was a commissioner and part of the Central Bureau, who takes care of all of our groups. I was also, I became a part of the national board, I don't know, a long time ago. I worked with the expansion team, the spiritual team, the training team. I was the counselor. I'm still the counselor of my association. And my dream was to explore the international dimension of guiding. And it also happened when they believed in me, and then when they asked me to become a candidate for the international commissioner of my association. So this is what I want to focus on, and what I want to tackle when I speak about the amazing opportunities that WAGs gives to girls. And I start with my own experience. When I joined the movement, I actually created my own girl guiding group when I was maybe 9 or 10 years old with my cousins. We created scarves. We sew our own scarves. It was always my dream to become a girl guide until I actually became a girl guide. So okay, I forgot the idea that I was going to say, but it's I think it's so important that we focus, or if we get inspired of what this movement is giving to girls. And I would like, of course, when I started this journey, I started thinking about what kind of skills I could give the World Board. And I was very worried about like, am I good enough? Am I fit for this? Until I met other people who told me, come as you are, because you have so much to give. And I believe that we all have something to give for the word board. In my professional life, I'm a clinical psychologist, I'm a counselor, I'm a family coach. I work in a secondary school. I was a teacher, and then when I finished my studies, I became the counselor of the school. I've been working there for 18 years, so I've had the chance to work with all ages. I also I work with a Canadian company that implements a safety educational program in all schools all over Lebanon. So I am in charge of the counseling department, the training department of the teachers and the parents. And I do a lot of work with students, parents, and teachers. And I also, something that is very recent, we've been going through so many challenges for the past 2 years. And when we came to a point where there was no more work, I went over my skills, and the skills that I had allowed me to apply to new jobs and to open new visions for me. And it is all thanks to what I was able to try as a Girl Guide. So as a word board member, I would like to be able to use my communication skills, my crisis management skills. And I come from a country who is facing so many crises and that is highly diverse, which means that as a Lebanese person, you are kind of trained to overcome or to try to find solutions and try to manage the crisis that you might be facing. And I think that as a board for the upcoming years, we are going to need to be very creative, very resilient, and come up with things that can help really everyone in their own needs. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Christiane. And then last but certainly not least, we have Rumbidzi joining us from the Girl Guides Association of Zimbabwe. I'll pass it over to her.
Thanks, Helen. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all well. My name is Rumbidzi from the Girl Guides Association of Zimbabwe, but currently I am dialing in from Namibia, where I'm currently living. A little bit about myself. So I've been a Girl Guide since 2007 when I was in school, and honestly, guiding has changed my life because with everything that I've done since I was 12, it's always been about, is this good? Is this right? Is this along the guiding laws? And honestly, that has shaped me into the person that I am. And so guiding is a very, very important part of my life. And once I left school, I went around looking for my my headquarters for Girl Guides Zimbabwe, because I honestly didn't know where it was as I was in school. And from that point onwards, I realized that there is more that I can give in guiding. There is more that I can learn from guiding. And I became the first young adult to actually be volunteering at the headquarters, as most of us didn't really know what was happening. That opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I managed to attend the 35th World Conference in Hong Kong. And I was also able to then attend the Juliet Law Seminar in 2015. So all of this international exposure that I got came in so fast, but it helped me get a better understanding of what WAGS does and the impact that it has, not only on me, but many other girls like myself. And that just gave me more energy to participate in my organization. I was the Young Leaders chairperson for 4 years. I was involved in fund development. I managed to craft the accounting policies and procedures, manuals, and our fund development mobilization document. And I was fully involved in all that. And I was also part of the finance committee. And I enjoyed being a full-time volunteer at my headquarters when I was out of work and out of school. With all this experience, I've learned of the impact that I can have on other young girls, especially focusing on education and just giving hope and inspiration to other young girls and women. And I managed to spearhead an outreach to one of our secluded places in Zimbabwe, where we're talking about the importance of education, menstrual hygiene, and free being me, which are in line with what I really love about inspiring other young women. In my career, I am an accountant who is still currently writing my final board exams to be a chartered accountant, which I really love, but which is really difficult. And in line with Motion 32, I've realized that as a young woman, it's really difficult to balance between my career, which is growing, my personal life, relationships, and then still manage being a Girl Guide. But in the 1 year that I moved from Zimbabwe to come to pursue my career and write my final board exams, that was the year when there was COVID, and I honestly could not reach out to the Girl Guides Association of Namibia. And in as much as there was a lot of pressure, work-wise and life-wise, there was something that was missing, and it's the full involvement in Girl Guides. So as a young woman who is struggling with all these things, I feel like there is space and there is time that I can make for guiding. And currently other young women are on the ward from will serve as goals that it is room for this can impact in as much as with all other things happening in our life. Just what I can bring to the ward board. My financial skills as a financial person and as an accountant, I'm very much interested in the finance side of the board. So I bring that to the board. I'm also interested in fund development, which is a very critical part of our organization as a charity. And I'm also interested in risk, given that WAGS is an organization that is in many countries, and we have funding that comes in from that are restricted, basically, then that opens us up to a lot of risk. So I'm interested, and I bring that perspective of risk management to the board. And also I've recently been admitted as the newest member of the Finance Audit and Risk Committee for WAGS. So I feel like that will help me leverage between the finance audit and risk side of WAGS and the WAGS World Board, and manage my skills and my contributions. And also what's really close to my heart is the fact that there are young women out there that have no access to basic education, basic health, and even just the hope that knowing that they can make it. And guiding provides programs that can address those issues. For instance, free being me, there is so much power in self-esteem and body confidence. And as a member of the board, I will be actively involved in crafting programs that can impact greatly the lives of girls and young women. And that is at the core of the reason why I would love to be on the board and serve girls in a very meaningful way, in as much as it might be big or small, but the things that make impact to someone is what I will be working on each and every day on the world board. So I'm really excited for this opportunity and the challenges that it brings, because it's not only me that's contributing to the board, but then it's the work that I do that will also challenge me to be the best and the better version of myself. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rumbidzai. Sorry.
Rumbidzai.
Rumbidzai, yeah.
You can call me Rumbi.
Thank you so much
Okay.
for sharing that. Really appreciate hearing from all 6 of our candidates today as well. So I'm going to pass it off to Angie, my co-moderator, and she's going to do the Q&A portion. So you'll have a chance to, if you haven't asked those questions in the chat, put those in there, and we'll give the candidates a minute to respond to each of the questions. So I'll pass it over to Angie.
Muchas gracias, Helen. Gracias a todas las que nos acompañan esta tarde. Me encanta ver que tenemos participación de varios países de nuestra región que están interesadas en seguir haciendo el movimiento muy relevante dentro del mundo en el que vivimos. Vamos a comenzar esta segunda parte de nuestra conversación de café a hablar acerca de Brújula 2032. Voy a realizar un par de preguntas y me gustaría que las organizaciones que nos acompañan el día de hoy nos den su visión, nos den su respuesta, qué piensan al respecto. Entonces, bueno, la primera pregunta, y bueno, estamos hablando de Brújula 2032 y tiene que ver con la visión que queremos del mundo para este año, ¿no? Según las consultas recibidas sobre Brújula 2032, la principal práctica que realizamos para hacer un movimiento liderado por niñas es: las niñas tienen espacios para practicar su liderazgo en todas las etapas de su experiencia guía y guía.
Yes, I think we've just lost Angie. Let's wait for a moment to see if she comes back.
¿Volví? ¿Alcanzaron a escuchar la pregunta o la repito? ¿Se me cortó?
Sí, se cortó la mitad.
Ok, perdón, es el internet. Voy a repetir la pregunta. Me gustaría que cualquiera de nuestras asistentes me diera su respuesta, me ayudara con qué piensan al respecto. Según las consultas recibidas sobre Brújula 2032, la principal práctica que realizamos para hacer un movimiento liderado por niñas es: las niñas tienen espacios para practicar su liderazgo en todas las etapas de su experiencia guía y guía Scout. ¿Cómo podemos seguir asegurando estos espacios pospandemia? ¿Alguien que quiera participar? Este es un reto nuevo para todas nosotras. ¿Qué piensan? ¿Alguna de nuestras candidatas?
I'm happy to jump in here. So for me, I think the leadership and the life skills development that WAGS offers is very valuable for today's society and for girls and young women in today's society. I think it sets them up well for life. So I think we need to keep listening to the voices of girls and young women, listening to what's important to them. And then we need to find, as a global organisation, we need to find the ways to attract them into our program and to keep them coming back for more and more of the activities that we offer.
Muchas gracias, Fiona. ¿Alguna otra participación? ¿Alguien más que nos quiera compartir?
Yes, I think I can share. All right, so I also feel like guiding is a safe. Firstly, it's a safe space, and also there is it's a non-formal way of educating girls. So this is an opportunity to get the attention of girls and really pay attention to what their unique skills are. And then with all the activities that we have in guiding, we see where girls excel, and then encourage them so that they fully participate, they fully engage in those activities and reach out into themselves in order for them to bring the leader that is within them. And then also with guiding activities and all that we learn and the leadership that we learn, it also just doesn't remain in guiding, whether in class, whether in their careers. All that we learn is very much applicable. For instance, just today when I was speaking to my friend that I have this meeting today for Girl Guiding, and she said, you know what, being thrifty, she was a guide back then. She's like, being thrifty is one of the things that I still remember from when I was a young girl guide, and I apply it whether I'm taking a bath, when I'm taking a bath, when I'm using water, I'm like, no, I need to be conservative. When I am at work, because she's also an accountant, she's like, because for us accountants, integrity is very big. And then she says, the laws that we have in guiding always come back in my mind, and I ask myself, is this good? Would other guides be proud to hear this from me? So I feel like guiding helps girls to lead not only other people, but to lead themselves, whether in guiding or outside guiding, and then also apply that in the different walks of life. And it's very applicable and very relevant. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Muchas gracias, Rumbi, por compartir con nosotras. Voy a darle la palabra a Candela. Tengo por aquí su manita levantada. Adelante, Candela.
Bueno, gracias, Angélica. Pienso que después de tanto tiempo sin poder salir de nuestras casas y en algunos países todavía en el medio de la pandemia o transitando la pandemia, encontrarnos para trabajar sobre todo lo que sucedió y atender las necesidades es súper importante, pero también tenemos que configurar la etapa que sigue, porque sin dudas todo esto que ha pasado y que sigue pasando nos va a dejar marcas como asociación, como organizaciones miembro, como personas, como beneficiarias, como personas que vivimos el guidismo. Celebro que haya habido un proceso como el de Brújula 2032 que nos permitió escuchar en primera persona qué es lo que quieren y qué es lo que necesitan las niñas y las mujeres jóvenes. Y va a ser un ejercicio que vamos a tener que seguir naturalizando y adoptando todo el tiempo, porque el mundo sin duda va a seguir cambiando, y esas necesidades y esas preocupaciones que las niñas y las jóvenes expresaron en la Brújula 2032 van a seguir cambiando, y todo parece indicar que se va a volver todo más complejo. Entonces me parece que también es clave seguir siendo un movimiento relevante, que va a seguir ofreciendo oportunidades para empoderarnos y realizar esos cambios que van a transformar el mundo. Trabajo en UNICEF y estoy todo el tiempo en contacto con datos, y a veces me aterra, pero también me impulsa a pensar que la niñez es el 25% del planeta. La población mundial está constituida por el 25% de niños y niñas, y es un gran desafío conocer qué cosas las siguen afectando y qué cosas quieren que hagamos y qué cosas ellas mismas van a hacer dentro del guidismo, y me parece que esta propuesta fue sumamente enriquecedora y nos va a apuntar como organización, pero vamos a tener que estar en constante movimiento, como sabemos hacerlo, para estar a la altura de las circunstancias de todo lo que está pasando actualmente en el mundo. Me parece que tenemos que seguir construyendo estos espacios, tenemos que seguir garantizando espacios de escuchas, de intercambios, de trabajo juntas, que fue una gran lección aprendida que yo veo que nos está dejando la pandemia y que nos va a seguir marcando el rumbo, y me parece una excelente práctica también.
Gracias, Candela. Muy interesante tu punto de vista. Queremos también escuchar a Chamantia. Fernando, por favor.
Yes, yeah, I can't agree more with all the amazing contributions by all the candidates. And I think it's also important to understand, I think probably all the member organizations but so far have received the World Board sending out the written resolutions, and in that consultation summary, I think where we exactly have most of the member organizations saying that we need that girl-led spaces in all stages of Girl Guiding, Girl Scouting experiences, like what kind of a girl-led movement we are looking for. So we basically have answered that question in that consultation. And I think exactly where our whole Girl Guiding, Girl Scouting experience should come in, because, you know, right from the beginning of, you know, we have, for example, butterflies, we start at the age of 5-6 years. So how at that age we give them that leadership, decision-making experience? So are they going to be like petrol leaders, you know, council members, you know, within that experience at that age itself, we are building them to be able to get ready for, like, to take up the big challenge. I think one of the questions that always been raised is about how young women should not be tokenized at decision-making spaces, because young women do not want to be in decision-making spaces as young women. They want to be equal partners. They want to be co-leading those spaces, co-owning those spaces, designing and setting the agenda together. So for them to do that, I think these experiences that we start at all stages of their Girl Guiding, Girl Scouting experience will really enable them to be able to get into that space. So even at a young age, you already have had that experience of being able to lead, of being able to make certain decisions, age appropriately, of course, but that really enables your skill set, and you give you that exposure to be able to deliver when you grow older. As you grow older, you're able to fit into each of those spaces. So I think giving that experience at that level really enables our girls to really look at, okay, if I am to be in that space, what kind of skills do I need? What kind of more knowledge I need to build? Because you need those skill set, you need those knowledge, you need those capacity to be able to deliver results, because we are getting into a decision-making space to deliver certain results and achieve those goals set by our member organization, expected by our movement. So for us to be able to deliver, I think we need to build those capacities starting at a very young age, and then moving into, you know, as we grow older, we kind of build on that. So it's very important to identify that. Thank you.
Gracias. Ahora voy a darle la palabra a Christine, pero con una nueva pregunta. Una pregunta que es acerca de la conferencia. Esta es la primera vez que nuestra conferencia mundial será de manera virtual. Christine, ¿qué crees que vamos a aprender de esta nueva experiencia?
I think that we are learning that nothing can stop us, and all the challenges that we've been through the past 2 years have been enough to teach us that you can be a girl guide, and you can thrive, and you can create those opportunities even though you are facing something that we have never thought that we would be facing. And I am amazed of the achievements that were done for the past 2 years, whether with WAGs or with different MOs, because I've been part of many panels, many training sessions in many regions, in many opportunities. And at first, we did not believe that, maybe we did not believe that this could happen, but it did. Even though this is, I'm sure that for many of us, this would not have been our first choice. And it's still not our first choice, as to have a world conference that we wait for many years, to be able to meet and to be able to connect and to explore and exchange experiences. However, when you come to a point where there's nothing else that you can do, I think that having this opportunity to be able to use the technology to achieve such amazing things is really something. Imagine if they had a pandemic years ago and they did not have the technology that we have now. Imagine what would happen. So Of course, I think it's a big challenge that everything is happening online, everything is happening virtually, but I think we were prepared well enough by our MOs and by Girl Guiding and by WAGs to overcome the obstacles that we have in order to achieve what we want to achieve. So that's what I would have to say. And if you allow me just to say just a couple of words about the previous questions, because the candidates that already gave all the answers I could have given, I just want to say that we have to be creative because our educational method already offers a lot of brave spaces and safe spaces for girls. There are these opportunities, so we have to be very, very creative. There is no one answer for everyone because we come all from different places. So we have to be creative and adapt to whatever we're facing. And the second part is we have to also focus on our leaders, because in order for every little girl, 5, 6, 7 years old, 15 years old, 17-year-old, 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 in order for her to achieve her own leadership, there's always a mentor or a model, and it's the leader. So it's very important, I think, to also tackle that. It's something that we already do, but we tackle on the importance of opening up these horizons for younger girls. Thank you.
Gracias, Christine. Y bueno, pues ahora voy a invitar a Amal. Amal, ¿querías compartir algo con nosotros?
Yes. Yes. For me, I think it's a big challenge for us, beside what they say, my colleague, the other candidates. I think that we should take care of all the organization try to support each other, especially during this time. It's very hard, but I think WAGs could undergo all these things, all this that mean WAGs do all things, but now, because in this time, I think we need that to support each other. Now, I think should be start to think in this way, to undergo this part of the WAG's mission and the regional mission, because we should support us in training, in programs, in activities that mean the organization have the ability, and they can do their mission in certain within the certain circumstance. I think it's now the time to start to all organizations try to support each other. Thank you.
Gracias, Amal. Y bueno, pues hemos casi llegado al final de nuestra charla de café, pero no queremos irnos sin escuchar un pequeño mensaje de despedida de nuestras candidatas. Les voy a pedir que en un minuto nos den un mensaje. ¿De acuerdo? Entonces voy a empezar por Fiona.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today and for giving us the opportunity to share with you and spend some time with you. I think that's been really valuable, and I'm looking forward to more of these opportunities leading up to the World Conference and during the World Conference. And I think your voice as member organisations is very important, and this is your chance once every 3 years to have a say. Your voice determines what WAGs can focus on and deliver for you over the coming years. So please keep engaging and keep discussing, and I'm really looking forward to continuing those conversations with you.
Gracias, Fiona. Voy a darle la palabra a Chamantia, por favor.
First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity for us to be able to interact and connect with the Western Hemisphere region. And I think I agree with Fiona, it's a great opportunity for your voices to be heard at the World Conference. And for me, in my capacity, I wish to connect and engage with all of you, getting to know what are the lived realities of girls and women in each of these regions, but also having the kind of experience over the past few years of working very closely with most of the countries from different regions. I know that it's very, very important to ensure we not only consult member organizations, but also take their recommendations and their demands into consideration and look at how we can implement and take them into action. Because, we have to move from a model of a more consultative to a more engaging model, and where they could be working together, and how our decisions going to be impacted from some of the feedback and the demands and requests that's coming from the member organization. So I envision for us, for a path where we can have that engagement going forward, and also how it could impact our strategic decision making, but also structuring WAGs in a way that it can cater into all our demands and requirements at different levels, and how diverse we are as a global movement, and what our requirements from Western Hemisphere to Arab region to Asia Pacific is similar but also different. So I think we need to be able to understand these different lenses that we have to look at this. So thank you again for giving me this opportunity, and I hope to be able to serve all of you in the future. Thank you.
Gracias. Rumbi, te cedamos la palabra.
Thank you. In addition to the amazing things Fiona and Chamata have said, I think the World Conference is a great opportunity to connect, a great opportunity to learn from one another, and to establish partnerships. It's virtual, there's limitations to it, but in guiding, the people that we connect with are very important for the programs we have as individual MOs and as regions. And when we get to interact with different people, which is the opportunity that a World Conference gives us, we get to learn a lot from other people's perspectives, how they view things and their different thoughts on similar matters. So I hope that you take this chance, you learn a lot, you connect, make new friends, and above all, just enjoy yourselves. Yes, and stay safe. That will be my message on top of what the others have said.
Gracias. Amal, adelante.
I want to thank you for this hour. I'm very happy and pleasant with you, and to see all these guides, which I appreciate their effort to collect us in this hour. Thank you a lot. Bye. See you.
Gracias, Amal. Cristian, vamos contigo.
I also want to thank everyone for being here, for inviting us. It's been amazing. I can't wait to connect with everyone. Please feel free to reach out, to ask any questions. Feel free to have this conversation again, whether with your MOs or directly to us. I just want to say that something that has been said, but our realities are different, but we are all walking towards the same thing. We all want the same, and we all have something to give. I want to point out that we are strong because we are together, and this is one of the things that is really exciting for me, because we are empowering each other. It doesn't matter how old we are, but we are empowering each other, and together we are really strong. So my final message for you, I just wrote it down, is when we walk together, we will walk far. So keep walking, keep guiding, and keep thriving. And thank you.
Muchas gracias, y vamos a finalizar con Candela. Adelante.
Bueno, muchas gracias. Me parece que como cierre, algo que vengo pensando mucho es estamos ante un momento completamente histórico de nuestra asociación que va a marcarnos, porque es la primera vez que estamos llevando a cabo una conferencia virtual, pero no solamente es algo anecdótico, sino que es algo histórico que demuestra justamente la valentía y la fortaleza que tuvimos para afrontar esto en este difícil momento de la organización. Me parece que también las decisiones que vamos a tomar van a marcar el futuro de la organización en el mediano y en el largo plazo, y por eso me gusta ver delegaciones tan grandes de tantos países que estén realmente involucrados y que están realmente participando en la toma de decisiones, que es importante, pero que este año me parece que tiene algo especial, después de todo lo que muchas organizaciones hemos vivido y todo lo que ha pasado y lo que sigue pasando. Las aliento y nos aliento a seguir pensando y pensando críticamente sobre qué asociación queremos y de qué manera vamos a seguir. Me parece que necesitamos tener conversaciones como estas y también de otro tipo para seguir alcanzando juntas nuestra misión como organización, seguir alcanzando niñas y jóvenes, retener a aquellas que no están, que hoy son parte del guidismo, pero también alcanzar a todas aquellas que no conocen el guidismo para transformar su vida de la misma manera que siento que nuestra vida fue transformada al conocer las guías algún día de nuestras vidas. Agradezco su tiempo y bueno, también pueden conversar conmigo y estoy a disposición, y fue un placer compartir un nuevo café con todas.
Gracias, Patti. Vamos contigo.
Muchas gracias, Angie. Pues, sin lugar a dudas, esta sesión del café estuvo increíble. Antes de despedirnos, tengo por aquí unos anuncios para todas ustedes. El proceso de votación para las resoluciones por escrito para Compás 2032, las propuestas de membresía y la política de cuotas de membresía 2022-2023 ya está abierta. La votación se cierra el miércoles 14 de julio a las 5 de la tarde en el horario UTC, para que por favor por ahí lo compartan con sus organizaciones miembro. También el día de mañana, porque el de hoy ya terminó, habrá una sesión, un evento de relaciones públicas para las delegadas jóvenes a la Conferencia Mundial en la plataforma Events Air. Será en inglés y en español a las 2 de la tarde en el horario EST. Es importante que inviten a todas las delegadas jóvenes para que puedan participar, para que asistan a esta sesión. Y por último, el día de mañana a la 1 de la tarde en el horario EST hay una sesión sobre las reglas de procedimiento. Los delegados principales o la delegada principal tendrá la oportunidad de ver cómo utilizar la aplicación que se va a usar en la Conferencia Mundial para votar. Esos son los anuncios del día de hoy. Bueno, pues en nombre de todo el comité de la región del hemisferio occidental, quiero dar las gracias a las candidatas por darse este tiempo de acompañarnos en el café. Muy interesante todo lo que nos han platicado. Especialmente también un agradecimiento a nuestras moderadoras del día de hoy, Angie y Helen. Muy bien llevada esta sesión. Muchísimas gracias por apoyarnos. También un agradecimiento muy especial a nuestras intérpretes que siempre están al pie del cañón apoyando en todas todos los eventos que organizamos. Pero sobre todo, un especial agradecimiento a todas ustedes por haberse dado también el tiempo de estar aquí. Muchísimas gracias y pues esperamos vernos muy pronto. Que pasen muy buenas tardes, un fuerte abrazo y un fuerte apretón de mano izquierda.
La foto nos falta.
La foto, perdón, no se vayan, espérenme. Bueno, ya les di las gracias. Después de la foto se pueden ir. ¿Quién la va a tomar, Emi? Perdóname.